I was on my way to work and I got to the traffic lights, and as I was going over the traffic lights, an articulated lorry came the other way and he basically went over on red.
Everyone familiar with head injuries knows that it is probably the worst kind of injury to have.
It came quite out of the blue. I'd not been ill beforehand, and I suddenly just collapsed over the table. And the last thing I can remember is my son saying, Mum, are you all right?
It can result in emotional changes or in physical disability.
Feel very lost and alone when something like that happens to start with, and you think, oh, my life's finished now, I'm not going to be able to do anything anymore.
It can also affect people's ability to think, to reason or to remember.
I kept repeating everything. I'd say something 1 minute and then I'd say it again. And I used to get very frustrated not being able to do simple tasks that I could do before, you know. It was so depressing.
Brain injuries can be acquired in many ways. One is from accidents on the road, in sport or in the home, or it might be the result of an illness, for example, strokes, brain hemorrhages or meningitis. Lastly, a brain injury can result from an assault. No two cases are the same, and the resulting disabilities can range from the absolutely minimal to the very severe. Headway Worcestershire is a local independent charity linked to the national charity Headway. We all aim to provide information, support and rehabilitation services to adults with an acquired brain injury, and to provide help and support for their families and carers throughout the whole of Worcestershire. Assisting in rehabilitation is one of the important objectives of Headway. Another is to help people to come to terms with their disabilities. Our mission is simply to support people to have a life after a brain injury. Headway provides support for members in two ways. Firstly, there is a community support service supporting people in their homes, along with their families and carers. Secondly, there are several day centres throughout the whole of Worcestershire with a range of activities to assist in rehabilitation. In both these services, the overall aim is to help people with a brain injury in their everyday living, to restore their confidence and to enable them to lead as active a life as possible with their families, friends and within their communities. For each member, possibly the worst part of having a brain injury is the initial feeling of bewilderment. After Keith was involved in a car accident, he spent 3 years at home before he discovered Headway.
I just seemed as if I was going nowhere. You know, I couldn't go back to work. That was my biggest obstacle, really. I'd worked for the milk for nearly, I think it was 25, 30 years. I kept saying I'd got to go back to work when I was in hospital. I said I've got to go back to work and all this sort of thing, you know, but it didn't happen.
For Dawn, after she had been released from hospital following a brain hemorrhage, she was introduced to Headway by her support worker.
I told her that I missed being able to get out and about and do the things I used to do. So she suggested I come to Headway and try some of the day services. And I wanted to improve my mobility, so I said I'd like to go along to that.
Being introduced to Headway, it's opened so much for me. I mean, and I was pleasantly surprised when I came, because this is not going to sound very nice when I say it, but it's how I felt before I came. That, you know, everybody's just going to be sat around and we'll go in the morning and sit and have a cup of tea and a coffee and biscuits and sort of thing, you know, and not do anything. But it's so different, so different.
The activities offered by the day services are very varied. The intention is to provide appropriate rehabilitation activities for each person attending. This may include being creative through art, woodwork, or pottery making. Users can decide what they want to make or be guided in their choice. For those members who like being outside, there are many opportunities to help look after one of the gardens by planting seeds and growing fruit, vegetables, and flowers. Members can also improve their balance and coordination by the use of the Wii. And those who like being more active can take part in a range of sports activities, including short tennis, bowls, walking, going to a golf range, gym sessions with adapted equipment, and even Tai Chi.
And just breathe at your own pace so that your breath isn't compromised.
All of which provide exercise, improve hand-eye coordination, and promote general confidence. And those members who enjoy improving their knowledge can join others in learning about the local history. There is a fully equipped music room where members can play a range of musical instruments, either on their own or as part of a group, or even just enjoy having a sing-along to songs with others. Large recreation rooms give people space to meet and chat to others and enjoy both hot and cold food, which is served daily along with tea and coffee. Members are invited to join in with cooking at Headway. The kitchens have low work services for wheelchair users and a range of special utensils for single-handed food preparation. Users are encouraged to cook things they like, but there is an emphasis on having a healthy diet. There are also a range of activities to improve mental faculties, like understanding and concentration, through quizzes and word games. 2 days out to get ideas and inspiration. Such group activities are invaluable in promoting social interaction. They also help to restore confidence and social skills, and generally to improve the service user's quality of life.
Life was lovely before my head injury. I was a real live wire, always on the go. I worked full time. I had hobbies where I was a member of a walking group, so I used to walk about 10 to 12 miles every Sunday. I used to go dancing every Tuesday for 3 hours non-stop, jive dancing. There weren't enough hours in the day for me, so life was very, very full on, and it was brilliant.
Well, I was very sporty and I liked my rugby and stuff, and I guess if there was like a dinner party and stuff, I'd be the one that would crack the joke. I feel the need to crack a joke and entertain people and stuff, and I used to be a teacher, so yeah, I entertain the kids and do silly things and act for them up, yeah.
But every member would agree that nothing can prepare you for the life-changing experience that comes with an acquired brain injury.
I was on my lunch hour from work and I just popped into the local town where I live in Kidderminster, and as I walked past a construction site, some scaffolding collapsed and fell onto my head and I sustained a brain hemorrhage. I don't remember anything at all until I woke up in hospital, and it was a complete mystery to me as to how I'd got there or anything that had happened at all that day.
I used to be a tractor driver on the farms. I was on the farm one day. I got trying to get out of the tractor. I couldn't get out. That was the first time I had a stroke.
Well, it was basically carbon monoxide poisoning in a car. That was obviously caused by depression, and that was just, life got me down and stuff like that, and I could only see one way out, which was at the time was not the cleverest thing, because now I don't see that as an option, but that's how I got my head injury.
I was a mobile hairdresser. I had a very, very big round. I was on tablets and unfortunately wasn't monitored, and I had a stroke. I had a clot come in the leg first, which caused the stroke.
I left the school, started to drive back through the country lanes. I obviously looked one way, looked the other way, and just completely missed time. It was a bit of a blind corner. So, yes, a Toyota Land Cruiser, which are huge, was doing 60, 70 down the road. And I pulled out and went into my sort of car. I had a broken pelvis, broken ribs, punctured lung, hole in my chest, and I was eventually in a sort of coma for a couple of weeks.
My life instantly shrank. Bang went the walking, bang went the dancing. I have a lot of side effects. It's affected the sensory functions for me in the main. I suffer with dizziness a lot, and that's made worse by fluorescent lights. I have coordination issues, so in the kitchen I'm a bit of a disaster. I'm forever burning myself. I forget which tap is hot or cold, and that can be annoying. I get things out of the oven and forget they're hot when I go back to them and pick the dish up. So I know they are, but I still do them.
I was a very calm, laid-back person before my accident. Almost quite the opposite. I get stressed easily. I worry about things all the time. I have had public outbursts, and I'll lose it with people in public, which I never would have done before. I suppose like breaking a leg in rugby or something, you just presume you'll get better and that's it. And I guess I was in sort of denial and didn't accept that it was going to be quite life-changing.
Every brain injury is different. So first of all, every service user has an initial assessment of their health and capabilities.
We recognise that it's all about the individual, but what comes with the individual are husbands, wives, children and so forth. And brain injury doesn't just affect the injured person, it affects the whole family. And what we try our best to ensure is that the whole family's needs are met.
Basically, I needed to give my husband respite. He had to go back to work to pay for the mortgage. A social worker took me to Headway to introduce me there. They found me brilliant. From there, I went on to do my courses, and I ended up at university to get my qualifications.
And we've also got 2 charity shops in Worcester, where some of our clients go there to do voluntary work, which puts them in a workplace environment, which helps them with their money skills, their confidence, their learning.
Yeah, the staff at the shop have been brilliant, and I can talk to them, and if there's a problem, and then they'll maybe pass it on to the powers that be at Headway.
It gives me the feeling of having a purpose again, because I can't work now. I've been back to work and it didn't work. And this is a really nice introduction for me to make some sort of headway, no pun intended, in getting back to perhaps working again, if that's ever possible.
Because it's so complicated, brain injuries, and to be honest, even I sometimes don't understand it, and I've got it, so, but it's nice having people that are sympathetic and even fellow people that have got injuries. It's just nice chatting to them and thinking that you're not alone.
The Community Support Programme has a team of staff throughout Worcestershire who support people, their families and carers. Staff offer support in any way necessary. These may involve everyday activities like washing, dressing and personal care, budgeting, meal planning and cooking. Or they can cover behavioural and communication problems, social interactions, help attending college and confidence building. Finally, support may involve help with form filling and making benefit claims, with court appearances and debt management, or with relationship problems.
I think the bulk of the work that we actually do is keeping a roof over people's head, ensuring that they've got food in their fridge, and what we do find is that without support of medication, people can take it at the wrong time and become ill again, or forget to take it because they've got memory difficulties. So we try and include that into the package to stabilise their health and well-being, to then focus on other areas.
We manage 3 housing schemes, and there's 20 flats in Malvern, 34 flats in Worcester and 8 flats in Evesham.
Everybody in Dickinson Court and Randy Road and Brickhill Street have their own home with their own front door. The staff discuss with them an appropriate time to visit them, and we encourage them to maintain their home to the level that they want.
Coming here, I mean, it's opened so much for me. I mean, they got me into the college. I did woodwork, cookery, computers. I mean, I never thought I'd even know what a computer did, you know, even turning one on. And I talked to my 6-year-old grandson now, and he's telling me about computers, and I said, well, hold on a minute, I can do that.
I would always advise people to get in touch with Headway, no matter how big or small the problem is, because they are there to support and help you, and without their support, I don't know where a lot of people would be now.
The biggest thing about a brain injury is to accept what's happened to you.
I think the minute you accept it, then you can move on. I think, yeah, because if you try and get back to who you were and exactly what you were doing before, then that's when depression starts. That's when you start having trouble and stuff.
I fought like fury that I was not going to be different. Whilst everyone in Headway has a different injury, the one thing we do all share is that we'll never ever be the same again. And you will fight back against that for a long time. You are not going to be different, and it's exhausting.
It's almost like I'm a different person now. And yeah, in many ways I'm the same. But then, having said that, I've got married since, and I'm happily married now. So yeah, I definitely think I've sort of become a better person.
A little bit of support can make a massive, massive difference, and that's what Headway is about. It's all about the individual. Every individual is unique. We take time to build trust, build a relationship with the individual, so that there's that mutual respect, if you like, to help them flourish and to get better and improve and have a better quality of life.
It's only through the encouragement. That's what I can't stress enough. It's they don't make you do it, but they encourage you to do it, and that's what I think some of us need. Just that little bit of a push, and okay, yes, we have had bad injuries, strokes, head injuries, and what have you, and we can sit down feeling sorry for ourselves, but it's just that little bit of a not being bullied, but encouraged to do it. And I think it's well.
It really boosted your confidence.
Absolutely.
One day the light shines and all of a sudden you think, hey, yeah, I am different, life is different, but it doesn't mean there isn't a life out there. And I think it takes to get to mix with other people who've had a brain injury, mix with people who understand a brain injury to help you along the way with that. And I would say to anybody who's had a brain injury, no matter what level it's on, contact your local Headway, go and see them and have a chat.
I would just like to say thank you, Headway, for giving me my life back.
Just to get the opportunity to come here, just to be able to talk to other people who've had the brain injury or the head injury or strokes and that, it's made such a difference It really has, because it makes you realise that you ain't the only one.
If you have had a head injury, or if you are caring for somebody who has had one and think that Headway can help you, then talk to your GP, or just get in touch with us. We will then come and talk to you, or invite you to visit us to see how we can help you. You can contact us by phone on 01905 729 729, or by email info@headwayworcestershire.org.uk. If you prefer, you can write to us at Headway Worcestershire, The Mill, Gregory's Mill Street, Barbourne, Worcester, WR3 8BA. All of these details can be found on our website www.headwayworcestershire.org.uk. We look forward to meeting you soon.